Okay, so you want to own a vending machine business. Machines on every corner, people feeding them dollar bills 24/7, you restock once a week, collect the cash, and watch the passive income roll in. No employees, no overhead, no complicated operations. Just you, your machines, and automatic revenue while you sleep. Sounds like the perfect business. And honestly, from the outside, it really does look that way. But here is what people who actually invest in this business know, and what most people selling vending machine courses on YouTube never tell you. A vending machine business is not a passive income ATM you install and forget about. It is a logistics-intensive, location-dependent, margin-compressed retail operation that happens to use automated dispensers. The revenue per machine is real. The location acquisition challenges are real, in ways that most people never see coming. Let's start at the beginning. When people say they want to own vending machines, they are usually picturing the classic scenario. Snack and beverage machines in office buildings, apartment complexes, gyms, hospitals, schools, and warehouses. You stock them with Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Doritos, Snickers, and granola bars. People insert money, make a selection, and the machine dispenses the product. Simple, proven, and operating successfully in millions of locations across the country. But the vending industry is far more diverse than most people realize. Traditional snack and beverage combo machines are still the largest category, but the industry also includes specialized vending. Healthy food machines with fresh salads and sandwiches, frozen food vending with complete meals, coffee vending machines competing with Starbucks, bulk snack vending, those old-school machines with nuts and candy in commercial locations, laundry card and laundry soap dispensers in apartment buildings, personal hygiene product machines in restrooms, and increasingly, non-food vending, everything from electronics charging cables to PPE supplies. Each category has completely different economics. A traditional snack machine might generate $200 to $600 per month in revenue. A frozen food machine in a high-traffic location might do $2,000 to $4,000 per month. A bulk candy machine in a low-traffic spot might generate $30 to $80 per month. The business model scales wildly differently depending on which category you enter and, more importantly, the quality of locations you can secure. Here is the part that almost everyone gets wrong when they start researching this business. The machine is the easy part. You can buy a new combination snack and beverage vending machine for $3,000 to $6,000. You can buy a quality used machine for $1,500 to $3,000. Financing is readily available. The machine is not the barrier to entry. The location is the barrier to entry. A vending machine without a location is a $4,000 piece of metal sitting in your garage generating zero revenue. And securing profitable locations is exponentially harder than the Instagram gurus make it sound. Every high-traffic location, office buildings with 200-plus employees, manufacturing facilities with shift workers, hospitals with 24/7 staff, apartment complexes with 300-plus units, already has vending machines. Those locations are locked up under exclusive contracts, often with large regional or national vending operators who have relationships going back 10 or 15 years. The location owner, the property manager, the building owner, the HR director, gets approached by vending machine operators constantly. They have zero incentive to switch providers unless you offer something meaningfully better. Higher commission payments, better service reliability, healthier product options, or newer equipment with better technology. And even then, most contracts have auto-renewal clauses and 90-day termination notice requirements. You are not just competing on service. You are competing against inertia and incumbent relationships. Let's talk about the commission structure, the part of this business that eats into margins in ways that new operators never anticipate. When you place a vending machine in someone else's location, you do not get to keep 100% of the revenue. The location owner expects a commission, typically structured as either a percentage of gross sales, usually 10% to 25% depending on traffic volume and competition, or a flat monthly fee, anywhere from $25 to $200 plus per month depending on the location quality and expected revenue. High-traffic premium locations command the highest commissions. A hospital cafeteria break room might demand 20% to 25% of gross sales. A small office with 30 employees might accept 10% or a flat $50 per month. A manufacturing facility might negotiate 15% plus a requirement that you also provide free coffee service to the employee break room as part of the deal. That commission comes directly off the top of your gross revenue before you have paid for product, restocking labor, fuel, maintenance, or machine depreciation. Here is the math that makes this much harder than it looks. Let's say you place a combination snack and beverage machine in a small office building. The machine generates $400 per month in gross sales. The location takes a 15% commission, $60. You are left with $340. The product you sold, the chips, candy, soda, and snacks, cost you approximately $180 to $220, depending on where you buy and at what volume. That is a product cost of roughly 45% to 55% of retail for traditional vending. So out of your $340 after commission, you spend $200 on product cost of goods sold. You are left with $140. Now you have to restock the machine. If you are doing this yourself, you drive to the location, let's say it is 15 minutes each way, you spend 20 minutes restocking and cleaning the machine, total time 50 minutes. You do this twice per month because the machine does not sell enough volume to justify weekly visits. That is 1.6 hours of labor per month. If you value your time at $30 per hour, that is $48 in labor. Add fuel costs, $8 to $12 per month for the round trips. Add the credit card processing fees because 60% to 75% of transactions are now cashless. Another 3% to 4% of gross sales, roughly $12 to $16 per month. Add machine maintenance and repairs, budgeted at roughly 5% to 8% of revenue annually, about $13 to $27 per month averaged out. Add the depreciation or financing cost of the machine itself, another $40 to $70 per month if you financed it. Your $140 gross margin after product cost is now reduced to roughly $0 to $30 per month in actual net profit per machine. And that is assuming nothing goes wrong. No vandalism, no product jams, no compressor failures, no stolen cash. On a machine generating $400 per month in revenue, you are netting maybe $15 to $25 per month in profit after all true costs. That is the reality that the Build Passive Income with Vending Machines courses do not show you in their income projections. They show gross revenue and maybe subtract product cost. They do not account for commissions, labor, fuel, processing fees, maintenance, and financing costs. When you factor in all real costs, a single traditional snack and beverage machine in an average location generates $10 to $40 per month in actual owner profit. Now, the business model does not work at one machine. It works at scale. The name of this script is Vending Machine Empire for a reason. The operators who make serious money in this industry run 50, 100, 200, or 500 plus machines. At that scale, the economics change because you achieve route efficiency and buying power. Let's talk about route density, the concept that determines whether you build a profitable business or spend all your profit driving between machines. If you own 20 machines spread randomly across a 40-mile radius, you are spending huge amounts of time and fuel driving between locations. Each restocking trip is inefficient. You cannot service multiple machines in a single trip. Your labor cost per machine is high. If you own 20 machines concentrated within a 5-mile radius, you can service 4 to 6 machines in a single restocking trip. Your drive time is minimized. Your labor efficiency is maximized. You can restock 20 machines in one day instead of spreading it across 3 days. Route density is everything. This is why breaking into this business is so hard for new operators. The best locations in any given area are already taken. To build route density, you need multiple locations in the same geographic cluster. But if all the good locations are locked up, you are forced to take scattered, lower-quality locations across a wide area, which destroys your route efficiency and makes the entire operation unprofitable. The large national operators, Canteen, Aramark, and regional players with 500-plus machines have enormous structural advantages. They buy product directly from manufacturers at volume pricing 15% to 25% lower than what you pay buying from Sam's Club or a local distributor. They negotiate lower credit card processing rates because of transaction volume. They employ dedicated route drivers and technicians, turning restocking and maintenance into a systematized operation rather than a task the owner does personally. And they have existing relationships and contracts that lock up the premium locations. You, as a new operator starting with 5 or 10 machines, are competing against that. You are paying retail or near retail for product. You are doing all the restocking yourself. You are taking the locations the big operators do not want. That is the competitive reality. Let's break down the actual startup costs for different scale scenarios. Starting small with 5 traditional snack/beverage machines. Purchase price for 5 quality used machines. $10,000 to $15,000, or $15,000 to $25,000 for new machines. Initial product inventory to stock all 5 machines. $800 to $1,200. Business licensing, LLC formation, sales tax permit, vending operator license if required in your state, $500 to $1,200. Insurance, general liability, and inland marine coverage for the machines and inventory, $800 to $1,500 annually. A cargo van or truck if you don't already own a suitable vehicle for restocking, $8,000 to $18,000 for a used vehicle, or factor in $300 to $500 per month if leasing. Warehouse or storage space for inventory, depending on whether you can use a garage or need to rent a small commercial space, $0 to $400 per month. Startup marketing and deposits, business cards, initial location outreach, security deposits for locations if required, $500 to $1,500. Total initial capital requirement for a 5-machine operation, approximately $20,000 to $45,000 depending on whether you buy new or used machines and whether you need to purchase a vehicle. Now let's scale up, starting with 25 machines, a size where you begin to achieve some operational efficiency. Machine purchase cost, $50,000 to $100,000 depending on new versus used. Initial inventory, $3,500 to $6,000. Vehicle, likely a larger cargo van or box truck, $15,000 to $35,000. Warehouse space for inventory and machine storage, $600 to $1,200 per month initially. Insurance, $2,000 to $3,500 annually. Licensing and business setup, $800 to $2,000. Technology, route management software, telemetry systems for tracking machine sales and inventory remotely, $1,200 to $3,000 initially plus $80 to $150 per month in subscription fees. Total initial capital for a 25-machine operation, approximately $75,000 to $150,000. At this scale, you are likely still operating the business yourself, possibly with one part-time helper for restocking. Your time commitment is 30 to 50 hours per week, split between restocking routes, sourcing new locations, handling customer service issues, managing inventory purchasing, and doing basic bookkeeping. Here is what actually happens when you operate a vending machine business day to day. You start early, often 6 o'clock or 7 a.m., loading your vehicle with the day's product. You have a route planned, 8 to 12 machines you will service today. You drive to the first location, an office building. You check the machine remotely via telemetry before you left so you know roughly what has sold. You unload product from your vehicle, wheel it into the building, unlock the machine, and begin restocking. You are checking product expiration dates, rotating stock, pulling anything that is close to expiring. You are cleaning the glass, wiping down the exterior, checking that the bill acceptor is working properly, that the coin mechanism is not jammed. You are emptying the cash box if the machine still accepts cash, reconciling what was collected against what the machine's internal counter says was sold. You are checking the refrigeration temperature to make sure the compressor is working correctly. You spend 18 to 30 minutes at this machine. You move to the next location. By midday, you have serviced 5 or 6 machines. You stop for lunch. You hit another 4 to 6 machines in the afternoon. You return home or to your warehouse, unload any unsold product, count and reconcile the day's cash collections, update your spreadsheet or software tracking revenue by machine and by location, and plan tomorrow's route. You are also constantly prospecting for new locations. You are cold calling office managers, stopping by apartment complexes to talk to property managers, sending emails to building owners. You are getting rejected 95% of the time. The few who express interest want to know what commission you will pay, what brands you carry, how often you will restock, what your response time is if the machine breaks down. You are dealing with maintenance issues. A machine in a warehouse stopped cooling and $80 worth of product spoiled before you caught it. A compressor failed and needs replacement, for $100 to $700 for the part plus your labor to install it, or $150 to $250 to hire a vending machine technician. Someone vandalized a machine, broke the glass, and stole $60 in cash and product. Your insurance has a $500 deductible, so you are absorbing the loss. You are managing product spoilage and shrinkage. Items expire before they sell, particularly in lower volume machines. You have to pull them and eat the loss. Product gets stuck in the machine and you have to refund the customer, another small loss. The machine miscounts and over-dispenses, giving a customer 2 items when they paid for 1. These small losses add up to 2% to 5% of total product cost annually, Another margin hit nobody talks about. You are not collecting passive income. You are running a logistics and route-based retail business that requires constant physical work, vehicle maintenance, inventory management, and customer relationship management. Now let's talk about product margins in detail because this determines whether the business works financially. When you are small, buying product from Sam's Club, Costco, or a local vending distributor, you are paying roughly 50% to 60% of the retail price you charge. A bag of Doritos you sell for $1.50 costs you 75 cents to 90 cents. A 20-ounce Coca-Cola you sell for $2 costs you $1 to $1.20. Your gross margin on product is 40% to 50%. As you scale and begin buying direct from distributors in larger volumes, your product cost drops. At 25 to 50 machines, you might get your cost down to 45% to 50% of retail. At 100-plus machines, negotiating directly with Coca-Cola or Pepsi distributors and buying snacks by the pallet, you might achieve 40% to 45% product cost. The large national operators with thousands of machines operate at 35% to 40% product cost. That 10 to 15 percentage point difference in margin is the entire competitive advantage that lets them undercut your pricing or pay higher location commissions and still make money. Let's talk about the technology shift that has transformed this industry over the past decade. 15 years ago, vending machines were purely mechanical. You loaded the product, collected the cash, and had no idea what sold until you physically opened the machine. Modern machines have telemetry systems, cellular or Wi-Fi connected devices that transmit real-time sales data, inventory levels, cash box status, and machine health diagnostics directly to your phone or computer. This technology changes the operational efficiency dramatically. You know exactly what's sold in each machine before you leave for your route. You bring precisely the product you need, reducing the amount of excess inventory you carry in your vehicle. You know when a machine is malfunctioning or offline before a customer even complains. You can identify underperforming machines and make data-driven decisions about whether to relocate them or renegotiate commission terms. The other major technology shift is cashless payment. 10 years ago, 80% of vending transactions were cash. Today, 60% to 75% are cashless, paid via credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. Cashless payment increases sales per machine by 15% to 30% on average because customers are not limited by the cash they have in their pockets. But cashless also costs you. Credit card processing fees run 3% to 4.5% of each transaction. On a machine doing $400 per month in revenue with 70% cashless, you are paying $8 to $13 per month in processing fees per machine. The advantage is safety and efficiency. You are not carrying around thousands of dollars in cash. You are not at risk of robbery. You are not spending time counting and rolling coins. The cash you do collect is minimal, mostly from older machines or locations where the demographic skews older and still prefers cash. Here is the competitive threat that is reshaping parts of this industry: micromarkets. Instead of a traditional vending machine, companies are installing open-shelf coolers and racks, essentially an unstaffed convenience store in a break room with a self-checkout kiosk. Customers pick what they want, scan it, and pay. The selection is dramatically larger, 100 to 200 SKUs versus 30 to 40 in a traditional machine. Micromarkets generate higher revenue per location, often $3,000 to $8,000 per month in locations where a traditional machine did $800 to $1,500. But they also require significantly more capital, $10,000 to $20,000 per installation, higher product inventory, and more frequent restocking. Micromarkets are replacing traditional machines in large office buildings, call centers, and manufacturing facilities. If you are a small operator with traditional machines, you are losing your best locations to larger operators installing micromarkets. Let's talk about what happens when you try to scale from 10 machines to 50, the transition point where the business changes fundamentally. At 10 machines, you can service everything yourself in 2 to 3 days per week, generating maybe $100 to $400 per month in net profit per machine, or $1,000 to $4,000 per month total. You are working 20 to 30 hours per week and treating this as a side business or part-time venture. At 50 machines, you cannot physically service everything yourself. You need help. You hire a part-time route driver at $15 to $18 per hour. Now you have payroll taxes, workers' compensation insurance. You need a larger vehicle or a second vehicle. You need more warehouse space for inventory. Your insurance costs go up. Your software and technology costs increase. Your gross revenue increases from maybe $4,000 to $5,000 per month with 10 machines to $20,000 to $30,000 per month with 50 machines. But your operating expenses increase nearly proportionally. Labor costs that were zero because you did everything yourself are now $2,000 to $3,500 per month. Vehicle costs double. Warehouse rent goes from $0 to $800 to $1,500 per month. Your net profit per machine often stays the same or even decreases during this transition because you are absorbing fixed costs that did not exist at smaller scale. The operators who successfully scale past this point are those who systematize operations, build route efficiency, negotiate better product pricing, and continuously add machines to spread fixed costs across a larger base. The ones who fail at this transition are those who add overhead costs without adding enough machines to cover those costs. Here is a specific risk that new operators almost never anticipate. Location loss. You spend months negotiating and finally land a great location. A busy office building doing $600 per month in sales. You have that machine for 2 years. Then the building gets sold. The new owner brings in their own vending operator, a friend or a national company they have a relationship with. Your contract gets terminated with 60 days notice. You lose the location. Or the business closes. You have a machine in a small manufacturing facility. The company loses a major contract and shuts down. Your machine goes from $500 per month to zero overnight. Or the property manager who approved your machine leaves and is replaced by someone who renegotiates a higher commission rate. Your margin on that location drops by 40%. Location turnover is constant in this industry. Industry data suggests that operators lose 10% to 20% of their locations annually due to closures, contract terminations, or voluntary removal of underperforming machines. You are constantly replacing lost locations just to maintain your current machine count, let alone grow. Let's run the numbers 2 ways: best case and realistic case. Best case. You start with $80,000 in capital and purchase 20 quality used combination snack/beverage machines at $3,000 each, spending $60,000 on machines and $20,000 on inventory, vehicle upgrades, insurance, and working capital. You hustle aggressively and secure 20 locations within 6 months, a mix of small offices, apartment complexes, and light industrial facilities. Your machines average $450 per month in gross revenue each. Total monthly revenue, $9,000. Location commissions at an average of 12%, $1,080. Product cost at 48% of net revenue, $3,800. Monthly fuel and vehicle costs, $400. Credit card processing fees, $240. Maintenance and repairs budgeted monthly, $360. Insurance, software, and administrative costs, $280. You service all 20 machines yourself, 25 hours per week, valuing your labor at $25 per hour, or $2,500 per month. Total monthly costs, $8,660. Net profit, $340 per month, or $4,080 annually, barely covering your time. But you own the machines outright, and as you add more machines and improve route efficiency over the next 2 years, scaling to 40 machines with better locations and better product pricing, your net profit grows to $18,000 to $25,000 annually while working 35 hours per week. You recover your initial investment in 4 to 5 years and build a business generating modest but real cash flow. Realistic case. You start with $35,000, buy 10 used machines at $2,500 each for $25,000, and spend $10,000 on initial inventory, insurance, and business setup. You struggle to find good locations. Most of what you secure are low-traffic spots, small offices, apartment laundry rooms, and aging facilities. Your machines average $280 per month in revenue. Total monthly revenue, $2,800. Location commissions at 10% average, $280. Product cost at 52% because you are buying from Costco at higher prices, $1,310. Fuel and vehicle, $180. Processing fees, $75. Maintenance, $140. Insurance and admin, $120. You do all the work yourself, 12 to 15 hours per week. Total costs, $2,105. Net profit, $695 per month, or $8,340 annually for 12 to 15 hours per week of work. That is effectively $13 to $17 per hour for your labor, less than you could make working a regular job with benefits. You are not building wealth, you are buying yourself a below-market wage job with your own capital. The difference between those two scenarios is not the business model. Both operators are running traditional snack and beverage vending. The difference is location quality, negotiation skill, route efficiency, and the operator's ability to secure enough good locations to make the economics work. The U.S. vending machine industry generates approximately $7.4 billion in annual revenue across an estimated 4.6 to 5 million active vending machines. The industry is dominated by large operators. The top 50 vending operators control roughly 35% to 40% of total industry revenue. The remaining 60% to 65% is split among thousands of small independent operators, most running fewer than 50 machines. The operators who build genuinely profitable businesses, the ones generating $75,000 to $150,000 plus in annual net income, typically operate 100 to 300 plus machines with strong route density, direct relationships with product suppliers, systemized restocking and maintenance operations, and often a mix of traditional vending and higher-margin specialized vending or micromarkets. The operators who struggle or fail are almost always those who believe the passive income story, underestimated the difficulty of securing good locations, failed to build route density, underestimated operating costs, or could not achieve the scale necessary to make the unit economics work. Vending machines are real. The business model works. But it works for the people who treat it as a serious logistics and retail operation, who understand that profit lives in route efficiency and location quality, who have the capital and patience to scale to 50, 100, or 200 plus machines where the economics finally make sense. The machine dispenses the product. It does not find the location, negotiate the contract, restock itself, or fix itself when it breaks.